Well, I'm pleased to say now I'm joined by Star Sports' very own Lofty. Martin Chapman is here. He's going to give us his thoughts on all the runners potentially coming over for the Star Sports Derby. First of all, confirmation, Lofty, that Pestana isn't going to be coming over. I know that you're not overly surprised by that. It's a shame. I'd love to have seen him at Nottingham, but just too tight a turnaround from the Irish Derby.
Yeah, I think most people thought that, dogs were going to get to the Irish Derby final and then literally have, say, 2 weeks between that and Nottingham. They've got to get them over for a trial. And I know Owen McKenna's not had too many runners in the UK, so that was no real surprise that Pestana wasn't going to come over. We probably think the same about New Taylor as well. Again, you say dogs that got to that Irish Derby final, just it's going to be too quick a turnaround to get them over and keep them on the go literally for what will be about the best part of sort of 2.5 months at full pace.
It's been a cracking Irish Derby, hasn't it? Have you been following it, and what do you fancy for the final?
Have been, yeah. New Taylor is just, the bingo break he got in the semi-finals on Saturday night, if he does that again, I just think he'll have the speed from 2 to 3 against Pestana. But it's what a final. You've got 2 dogs that are running at the absolute top of their powers. I know a few of the Irish boys pretty well, the judges there, and they've been trying to get Pestana beaten every single round so far, but he's just taken him absolute flying bingo break, cheating draws, moving over towards the rails where he wants. Again, he's probably got a slightly better drawing track 4 this time, but he will be edging across to the corner. And I just think if New Taylor gets the break he did the other night, I just think it'll be a quicker dog. But it could be an absolute buckle to watch down the back if they're going head and head off the off the last bend. It's a real race to savour. Great race to watch. Looking forward to it immensely on Saturday night.
You've got to think there's 2 very, very special dogs on show there. Look, despite the fact that Derby's a little bit different this year, less entries, lower prize money, I think, I feel really excited about it. I think it's going to be a very, very good, high-quality Derby. Do you feel the same?
I think the same. It's still got the prestige. There was a lot of people saying about the Irish runners wouldn't be coming over. Graham Holland's already made noises that he's going to bring at least half a dozen, top-quality dogs over. I've heard a few rumours in the grapevine that Pat Buckley's bringing over a strong team as well. Still a bit unsure yet, apparently, about Liam Dowling, what he's bringing over, if he's bringing anything over at all. But, people thought they were going to make it really tough for the Irish dogs. They brought in this new rule where they've got to be basically staying over here because it's hard for people to go backwards and forwards all the time. But I still think, although it might be a smaller Irish challenge, it will certainly be a select one this year.
And the betting is headed 10-1 with Star Sports by Lenson Bocco. Now, is that a bet you'd be taking? It's pretty short, I think.
He didn't look the same dog to me this year in the Irish Derby, to be honest. He just wasn't showing that pizzazz he was showing last year. We all remember the final back in 2019 where the 3 of them crossed the line together. It was that was a blinding good final, that. And he didn't really show the zip this year. I thought, watching the Irish Derby, I know Graham's going to bring him over, and as you say, he's not been round Nottingham at all, so it'll be a whole new track for him and a whole new experience for him to bring him over it. Of course, he's 2/3 English owned, basically fully English owned, with Graham Box, with Austin Whelan and Lenny Ponder, of course. So they'll be wanting to win an English Derby as well with him. So he'll bring him over there with his chance. But I thought what he showed in the Irish Derby, he's plenty short enough at the moment at 10-1.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. The leading contender from England, Rocco's Doomy, I think he was so impressive during the Sussex Cup at Hove. Really showed that he can battle when he needs to. Stunning looking dog, and in great hands with Patrick Janssen. So he ticks a lot of boxes. He
does indeed, yeah. He's a dog who some people think is probably less suited by Nottingham, and people say that he's slightly more draw dependent. He wants to be drawn in res. They put him round Nottingham last year as a puppy. I think it was a bit more of a rush job on him last year, running round there. He won a little maiden comp at Hove, against a dog that we own at Star, Any News With You. We popped up against twice, and he chased him home both times. But I think they might have rushed him a little bit last year into the Derby, and I think Graham thought himself last year that he was a little bit sort of quick in sending the dog there. But as you say, the Hove runs are absolutely cracking. They gave him a trial at Sheffield the other night, I noticed. He broke the 16-second barrier there for the sprint. Couldn't make out what the Sheffield trial was for. Thought for 1 second we were going to put him in the 3 steps, but obviously he's not running in that. He's Derby bound, and as you say, he's an extremely fast dog, probably the fastest dog at the moment in the UK of dogs that we know are actually running. But yeah, again, at his price, 16-1 for a dog with a little few question marks over about whether Nottingham is not his ideal track, and so could be draw dependent. Again, at 16, I think he's plenty short enough at the moment in the market.
Absolutely. Also at 16-1 at the moment, because of all the money there will have been for this dog, is Ice on Fire. Now, it's amazing to see him coming back during the trials he's doing, but it's a big ask, isn't it, to come back from a gracilis injury?
Very much so. Again, we lost our good dog Gilbertus with a gracilis when he come back first trial after lockdown, and we immediately down tools with him. Fair play to Jimmy Fennick, and they've seeked out all the good veterinary advice. They've gone to Graham Holland's vet, and he had this treatment which he said can cure the injuries quicker. They brought him back, very slowly. A couple of sort of short 2-bend trials at Nottingham, and then a 480 trial. But it's a massive arse, that, isn't it, to do it over the 5 rounds really of the Derby. One less round this year, but even so, it'll be a training performance of all time if they can get him back and actually to win the Derby. I think it's a great. It'll be an absolutely great performance. But it's just the way it is. It's as you say, they've got to give him credit for bringing the dog back.
I would love
at least trying.
Yeah, I'd love to see him giving it a go. One dog, an Irish contender that's been a lot of whispers about, and I know that you're on a slightly bigger price than the 20s one he is now, is New In Session. Ian Fortune said to me that he thinks this dog is absolutely tailor-made for Nottingham.
Indeed, he looks a really, really fast dog. I know we've laid him, and he's one of the ones that Graham's definitely touted as coming over. You look at his Clonmel runs, only Claire's Rocket's ever gone fast around Clonmel. He got beat in the semi-final of the Produce Stakes, but he's got tremendous backstraight pace. If you watch the race, there's a race prior to lockdown when he actually beat Pestana at Shelbourne Park. Pestana didn't take one of his absolute bingo breaks that night, but the middle speed that New In Session showed down the back against him was absolutely tremendous. And then he just sort of outstayed him. The time wasn't great by sort of at the moment by Shelbourne standards. Shelbourne's on fire at the moment. It's like 28.77 or something, the dog run. But yeah, certainly he's ticked plenty of boxes. And as you say, most of his run has been around Clonmel. He was a very early casualty in the first round of the Irish Derby. But, Graham puts all these good dogs really around Clonmel, obviously his local track. And, I think he certainly knows what he's got to go to war with there. And if he takes to Nottingham, I think he's a serious runner. Yeah, I've got a little bit of 33s myself in my back pocket, but wait to see what happens when he comes over.
Yeah, I'll definitely be having a look at that one myself. A very exciting time for Alison Kelly-Pilgrim. She's got 2 real contenders in her kennel. Deemage Sirius, they really had spot on ahead of when the Derby was meant to be before lockdown. Also, Deemage Rapid has gone very, very quick around Nottingham, and I know they got their money on before that trial happened. But 2 real contenders there for her.
But they certainly have, yeah. As you say, she's yet to break a Cat 1 hoodoo, but Ray and Paul certainly put the dogs there and give her the ammunition to go to work with. Sirius was a huge loser for us prior to lockdown. As you say, we well laid it, and he'd been coming from Ireland. He ran the Puppy Derby there last year, and they brought him over with some very high expectations. And as you say, the Rapid, who lived up to his name, he's like 29.39 the other night. Spoke to a few people as well who actually saw that trial, and so he's probably left a couple of lengths on the track there as well. So if you think he can go quicker than that, you're getting sort of in the realms of Skywalker Logan's track record there almost, which he did last year. And despite the fact he ran in the Dundalk, the Bar 1 sprint at Dundalk, which you thought for 400 there would be a sprinter, everyone says he's a much stronger dog than that. So yeah, he's certainly a very, very interesting contender. It'd be fascinating to see when he actually starts racing around there. It's the old adage, trials for show and it's for dough when the racing comes up. So we'll see what happens when he starts actually racing.
Absolutely. There isn't a more enthusiastic set of owners than the Champagne Club Syndicate, and there's a couple of bubblies in there again with a great shout. Bubbly Dave, I know, has seen plenty of support, as you would expect from them, but also Bubbly Magnum has been flying around Romford as well. Yeah,
Magnum, a few people would say he does look a Romford dog really, but there's been, certainly a few quid for them around there. Again, as you say, there's been plenty of money about for both the Bubbly dogs. Bubbly Dave, who was, of course, Lightsaber Puma in Ireland, did that ridiculous run last year on finals night when he broke the long-standing 750 track record, and then was showing plenty of speed against good 550 dogs at Shelbourne. I think that set a few eyebrows raised, and he was for sale on Greyhound data for quite a while, actually, wasn't he? And then eventually the Champagne Club went and bought him over here. To me, he's looked like he's wanted a bit further than that, but again, he's the sort of dog who can probably keep qualifying. You'd have thought around Nottingham. It's just that long running But I don't know. A few people have put him up as a qualifier. But once you get fast dogs in front, he's going to be turning sort of much nearer to last and first all the time. And not a lot happens at Nottingham. I thought last year from the third bend onwards. You've got quick dogs in front. It's very hard for fast dogs to pick up fast dogs. And yeah, to me, I think he's a 25 to 1 at the moment. I thought was far too short for him. But each to their own.
Absolutely. We've sort of covered the top ones in the betting. I know there's a few at a bigger prices, or certainly a couple that you like the look of.
Yeah, Roxham Olaf. There's a couple of Shrewdies have backed that with us. We loaded 100s and 66 to 1. Very fast trial around Sheffield. I think he did like 27.44 and over the 480. Had a look at Nottingham. He's a wide runner. Obviously, we had the thing last year with our wide runners suited more by Nottingham than dogs on the inside or the middle traps. We will see again whether we have that this year. But he raced in Ireland as Tully Murray Mint. He was very, very lightly raced over there, but he's shown plenty of speed in trials. And his couple of runs I saw of him in Ireland, he's got plenty of all-round pace. I thought he could be a big runner, and obviously he's in the right hands as well with the Keithleys, who are retiring from the training game after the Derby.
And one from the McNair kennel that you like too.
Yeah, Queen Jessie J. I mean, he got a bitch to the semi-final last year, of course, with I forget the bitch now. They get all the bitches of Beyonce, that's correct. And of course, Ballymac Taz got to the final as a bitch last year.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, she's been going through the produce stakes at the moment, virtually unbeaten, I think, going through that. Again, looks sort of bitch. She'll be suited by Nottingham. She's got that bingo ping break on her all the time. Got a bit of early speed, that long run to the corner of suit her. I can just see Rab getting her sort of through at least to the semi-finals again, if not further than that. And keeping us all entertained as always with these post-race interviews. There's
plenty of others at bigger prices as well. Troy Fireberg looks to be having an ideal preparation for David Mullins. Obviously, he's made it through to the RPG-TV Yarmouth Derby final. He's in there at 50 to 1 still.
Yeah. Yeah, there's plenty of dogs. This is one of those one of those years when people were thinking it could be a slightly substandard derby, or looking like an eclipse really, with a bit more prize money sort of thrown into the equation. But there's lots of dogs, you say 480, 500 dogs who we see week in, week out really in these competitions. But come the day, come Yarmouth, as you say, come Nottingham, as you say, this could be a wide open competition.
So Queen Jessie J, Roxham Olaf, and New In Session for the shorter price one. Anything else you're betting?
Not particularly, no. I just think, I want to see the actual full list of runners and riders first, what they come out with the 96, and if the Irish bring a few over, it could be actually interesting. There might be a few, obviously, hard luck stories that dogs have been left out. I mean, I dare say there'll be a few reserves there that you think, well, why weren't they in the runners? Gonzo, I thought, was an interesting contender as well. Another wide runner, of course, who won the Monmore Gold Cup back last week. So he's certainly a runner there. Very likely raced again over in Ireland and been brought over. And again, he could be another interesting runner. But again, a wide runner. Again, will the wide runners be favoured this year around Nottingham as opposed to the insides and the railers? Yeah,
Gonzo is a 40 to 1 chance at the moment with start. Lots for us to look forward to. Times are difficult. There's not that much going on in the world in terms of things we can enjoy, but the Star Sports Derby is going to be something we can definitely savour, isn't it?
We'll certainly get into it once it starts. Yeah, so once we get the Irish Derby out of the way the weekend, I think we'll start warming up and we'll really get it in it, and then we'll turn the screw certainly in the next 2 weeks up to the first rounds on I think it's October the 2nd, Friday night, the first round, isn't it? I think.
Absolutely. Can't wait. I'm sure I'll be chatting to you much more throughout the Derby Lofty, but thank you at the moment for your anti-post thoughts.
No problem. Thanks, Jules.